Hi, my name is Trevor Palmer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Globaleather wheelchair gloves. It's some time ago now, I imagine probably about 15, 16 years. At the time, I was a manual wheelchair user. Well, I was a part-time manual wheelchair user. As I am at the moment, I'm a full-time electric wheelchair user. But anyway, when I first got my first manual wheelchair, I was all excited. I went to my business at the time was doing very well, and I spent a lot of money on a very swishy wheelchair, and it came in and I got it. And the first outing for it was at the Mobility Roadshow when it was at Crowthorne at the vehicle testing laboratory site, and I took my new manual wheelchair there and got it out of the car, got in it, and I was like a bloke with a new Ferrari, I was wheeling all around the place. And I got into the show and looked around, and there was some trade stalls there, and after about half an hour my hands were getting really sore and uncomfortable, so I thought I'd better get some gloves. So I looked around, went around the whole show. By this time my hands were actually falling to bits, and I couldn't see anybody selling wheelchair gloves. So I just watched what other people were using, and I saw people with weightlifting gloves, garden gloves. I saw a girl wheeling around with a pair of marigold washing up gloves. I was thinking, this is ridiculous. So that night when I got home, I used the internet to look for wheelchair gloves, and I searched and I searched and I couldn't find it. And eventually I found an outfit in America which was selling gloves, and they were $100 plus $20 carriage. So I ordered a pair, and they took about 6 weeks before they arrived, and I'd almost forgotten about it because my hands had adjusted, and they didn't look very nice because I had some calluses up the side of my thumb. And anyway, I showed my family my new wheelchair gloves, my proud new possession, because they weren't that brilliant. And my son, who was I think 15 at the time, said, "Hey Dad, they're the same as my BMX gloves." So next thing you know, he had his gloves out from the shed, and I got a scalpel out and I cut his gloves to bits and my gloves to bits, and I looked at them and I thought, something's adrift here. They're made in exactly the same factory, same materials and everything else. They've just been pattern graded to a different size. So I thought, well, this is not quite right, because he paid $4.95 for his in a popular bike shop chain, and I paid over $100 for mine. Had to wait 2 months, and they weren't really doing the job that well. So I thought, right, I want to develop some specialist wheelchair gloves. Now, I was very fortunate because I was working with leather is my particular field. My qualification is I'm a ladies' handbag designer, and I've worked all over the world setting up different production units. And a few years beforehand, I'd worked for a company in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, who had a tannery who wanted to add value to their products and set up manufacturing, and they actually wanted me to set up a glove manufacturing plant for them. So I learned all about glove manufacturing and did a very successful job for them. Anyway, I then thought, well, what is exactly what's required? And I scratched my head about it because I have multiple sclerosis, and my particular physical abilities at the time meant that I wheeled in a certain way. And I thought, well, I know other people who are amputees and they're going to wheel differently, and somebody with a spinal injury is going to wheel differently. And on the next day, it was a Saturday morning, and I sat in my high street in the centre of town, and every single manual wheelchair user who was wheeling themselves, I said, "Can you help me?" And we got a team together, and eventually there was 13, well, including myself, 14 of us, and over a period of 8 months, we did nothing but test gloves. I bought some sewing machines, specialist glove sewing machines, and I had a commercial premises, and I put dedicated part of it into like a sample workshop, and we made gloves, and we cut the gloves to bits, and we tested every available concept of wheelchair glove. Anyway, we launched a product, and it started selling very well. And over the years, I think over a period of about 10 years, it evolved. Rather than just go ahead with one style, we developed into lots of different styles. And for the last 3 years, a company called Afia has taken over the sales and marketing of the Globaleather range of wheelchair gloves, and they're doing a splendid job. And they're in a fortunate position to be able to sort of like control the manufacturing side more than myself, because my own disability meant that my mobility and my capabilities were slightly down on what they were. So that's a basic history of the Globaleather wheelchair glove.